to all of the area's first responders. Welcome, one and all. Tonight's non-league contest is the first of a two-game series featuring the Oklahoma City Generals and your Hayes Larks. The Larks are currently 20-4 on the season and at 10-2 are in first place in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Free admission to tonight's game has been made possible through the generous sponsorship of the Hayes Firefighters Local 2119, Hayes Police Department Local 48 of the Fraternal Order of Police, and the Platinum Group Real Estate Agency of Hayes. We greatly appreciate these generous people and their support of Hayes Larks Baseball. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, before we present the national anthem, we would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of the firefighters, law enforcement officers, emergency medical personnel, 911 dispatchers, and the many other dedicated public servants for their hard work in keeping our community safe. We're especially grateful of these families of the first responders for their sacrifices and the help they give in supporting these local heroes. The Hayes Larks are honored to recognize all the first responders who have dedicated their lives to providing safety and security for all of us. We're pleased to pay tribute to them and their families, so please join the Larks in saying thank you to these outstanding members of our community. The Hayes Larks would also like to take this time to recognize Hayes police officers, Lieutenant Tim Greenwood and Detective J.B. Burkholder, who recently received the Gold Award for Valor from the Kansas Association of Chiefs of Police. Ladies and gentlemen, last year these two officers responded to a call of where a young man was attempting to force his way into the Northwest Community Corrections Office. Lieutenant Greenwood and Detective Burkholder made contact with a man who was in the lobby area and who was armed with 2 knives. But due to their professionalism and dedication to training, a potentially deadly situation was avoided. The young man was taken safely into custody and no one was injured. Please join the Hayes Larks in thanking Lieutenant Greenwood and Detective Burkholder for their service and congratulating them on a job well done. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us as we honor America with our national anthem. gentlemen, please welcome tonight's first pitch celebrities. First pitch will be thrown out by Hudson Nierenberger, representing the Platinum Group Real Estate Agency, and by the City of Hayes Fire Department's newest firefighter, Talon Rice. We believe that he was volunteered by his new shift partners. All right, Talon, when you're ready, give it a toss. Great job, what an arm. Real Estate Agency. Hayes Firefighters Local 2119, Hayes Police Department Local number 48 of the Fraternal Order of Police, and the Platinum Group Real Estate Agency. Larks.
Where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! For the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 25 of the 2021 Hayes Larks season. First pitch of the game from Jackson Blue will hit Braden Escarcega in the bag. Tough way to start for Blue on the mound. So Oklahoma City Generals versus the Hayes Larks, game 1 of 2. Generals out of Oklahoma City. They're the combined all-stars of the Sooner State League. The Larks coming to this game 20-4 on the season. They're on an 8-game winning streak, 10-2 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. They sit comfortably in first place, up 3 games. That'll bring up, after the hit by pitch, Barrett Daniel to the dish, the left fielder, batting second in the lineup. This delivery to him gets a swing and a miss. Blue comes into this game 1-0 on the season through 7 appearances. This is start number 3 for the righty out of Woodlands, Texas. Has a 0-1 count with the runner at first and nobody out here in the top of the first inning on a great Friday night here in Hayes, Kansas. First responders night here at the park. Had a little ceremony before the game and a great crowd, over 1,000 people at the park to enjoy some Hayes Larks baseball. 0-1, runner takes off. It's one to run on, but it's going to be sending him back to first base as Daniel fouls it off. Bear Daniel from Seminole State. He's taking on the Hutchinson commit. Jackson Blue, Texas native, spent a year at UTA and is going to Hutch. He's pitched 20 innings this season, striking out 15, walking 20, and has an ERA of 6.30 through 14 earned runs. Whip under 2 and has an 0-2 count here. He goes home. Off speed fools Daniel, and he gets a 3-pitch strikeout to start the first inning with that runner at first. Strikeout number 16 this season for Jackson Blue, and there's one away. Takes us to Parker Henderson, the third baseman from Southwestern Christian University, and he will step up to the dish. Larks sporting their home cream uniforms, the retro uniforms for their 75th anniversary season. Great night at the ballpark. First pitch around 7:04 p.m. here in Hayes. Wind coming in from center field. Fastball will miss high, and the throw to second is way wide of the bag, and it'll roll into center field off the hand of Brady Evans. Pearson and Escarcega kind of collided at second base. They seem okay, and they get back up and go back to their respective spots. Escarcega now in scoring position. The shortstop, undecided, is in scoring position. 1-0 counts. Evans been pretty good behind the plate. That's one of the first errant throws he's had this season. Warm night at the ballpark. We're pushing 90 degrees. We'll see if that heat has any effect on pitchers that have long innings on the rubber. 2 balls and no strikes. They mentioned this is Jackson Blue's 8th appearance of the season. His last one was against the Cannons in Augusta, where he threw 2 innings in the start and had 7 earned runs. That's the most he's had by quite a few. He's had some great outings on the season, and has struck out 15. The one before that, he went 1 1/3 against the Sox, and he gave up 3 runs. But before that, his ERA was really low after going 3 innings with no hits against the Roughnecks to start his career as a Lark, and pitched against the Game Day Saints. Had a great 4 innings in relief in a game that the Larks won after being down 11-1. They won 18-16, and just was so good for the Larks and was a huge reason the Larks came back and won that game. And then he pitched against the Saints on Monday again, 1 2/3 innings, no earned runs. And so, at the past 2 appearances for Jackson Blue, a little uncharacteristic. This one's going to be lined to right field. It's going to drop in fair territory, and Parker Henderson picks up an RBI with 1 out. Earned run number 15 of the season for Blue. That Escarcega scores, and Oklahoma City takes a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning in north central Kansas. They made the trip up today, just had their all-star roster announced, and Oklahoma City will bring their squad to Larks Park. Takes us to the cleanup hitter Trevor Kinsey out of South Nazarene University. Blue misses outside here, 1-0. Blues only other 2 starts came against the Boulder Collegians at home, and when he picked up his first one of the season, and then the other one was against the Cannons 10 days ago. 1 ball and a strike here to the cleanup hitter. Runner at first stays. This one's well hit into the gap in right field. Grant Schmidt moved towards it. Henderson rounds second. The throw to third is going to be cut off by Kavanaugh. The relay is not going to be in time. And the Oklahoma City fans that made the trip having fun today. They're loud here at Larks Park. After back-to-back singles, there's runners on the corners in a 1-run lead with 1 away. So Blue looking to recover from his last outing, having a little bit of trouble getting going today. He's thrown 9 pitches. 5 of those have been in the zone. He struck out 1 and allowed 2 hits. Off speed, nice pitch. Won't catch the low outside corner. A tough call from the home plate umpire. Larks were victorious in their last game against the Fort Collins Foxes, sweeping the 4-game series and securing their spot safely in first place in the RMBL. Win the league. Easy shot to get into the NBC World Series. You will get in, and the Larks want to get back there. They put themselves in position to get there. 1 ball and a strike here to Jay Jasper. He's a second baseman, batting 5th in the order out of Mid-America University. 1-2 is the count. Blue hitting the zone. Blue's got some great pitches on the mound. It's just him keeping a strong mental game today, that's going to be the key for him if he wants to win number 2. Runner takes off from first. Off speed will just miss outside. A close call, and they will not be a throw. Kinsey takes second base, and there's 2 in scoring position. After this batter, we'll check out how the Larks line up defensively, unless there's an RBI. 2-2, 1 away. Jackson Blue goes home. Fastball is grounded to the right side, and Grant Lung thought about going home and ends up trying to first base. Henderson scores, and he has an RBI and a run scored on the day, and Jasper drives him home on the ground outs. Staying at second base is Kinsey, and Oklahoma City has scored 2 runs to start the first inning, 2 outs. So we won't check out how the Larks line up defensively. 0-1. This one was fouled off. Oh, 0-1 count, 2 outs, runner at second. Blue goes home, misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of this inning will be Henry, Kavanaugh, and Lawson, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, obviously, for the bottom of the first. Gap up the middle, 1-1 count, 2 hits, 2 runs for Oklahoma City. No errors for the Larks. This one is a fastball off the plate. Brady Evans takes it off his chest protector, and it gets away from him. Blue did not pitch at UTA this season, but was very heralded as a recruit coming out of high school and had some great numbers in his high school career. He's looking for win number 2 as a Lark. So 41st ranked overall player in Texas, coming out of high school by perfect game, and the 16th rated right-handed pitcher. Fly ball to right field. Grant Schmidt moves right and will make the catch. OKC gets a couple hits, a hit by pitch, a couple of runs, and a couple of RBIs. They'll take a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the first in Hays, Kansas. Welcome back for the bottom of the first here on Larks Network. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. Leading off for Hays is Zach Henry, the center fielder from UTA. He's running a 5-game hitting streak coming to this one and is the 3rd longest on the team behind Kavanaugh and Divis. Kavanaugh is the guy on deck. Divis has the night off. This one will drop it in the zone on off speed. 0-1 to Henry. On the mound for Oklahoma City is Anthony Kopecki. He's a righty out of Oklahoma City University. Zach Henry takes him to right center field. A diving effort from Bocac is not going to work for him. It goes off his glove, and it's a base hit to start the bottom of the first for the Hayes Larks. Zach Henry's hitting streak now stands at 6 games and is tied with Kavanaugh for the longest on the team. And speaking of Kavanaugh, here he comes to the dish, the shortstop from UTA. Kavanaugh has some days off in the Fort Collins series. He's played in only 6 games this season after battling injuries at UTA and at the Larks. He's played in 6 games but has 6 games with a hit. Total of 10 hits through 25 at-bats this season. His last 2 games, played 2 of the 4 games against Fort Collins. Played the Saturday and Monday games, going to a total of 3 for 8 with 3 RBIs in those 2 games. He has a 1-0 count against Kopecky. Zach Henry has a ton of speed at first base. Is one of the most athletic guys the Larks have had over the past few years. Look for him to be running and test the arm of Richardson behind the dish. Kopecky hangs his arm low, drops close to the turf. Has a 2-0 count versus Kavanaugh. He goes home from the stretch. Off speed, grip loses, and it goes outside. This is Kavanaugh's 3rd year in the Larks uniform. He's a Keller, Texas native, and has a runner at first. It's Zach Henry, his teammate from UTA. 5 UTA Mavericks on the Larks roster, and this one, the shortstop will walk on 4 pitches. Back-to-back base runners for the Hayes Larks. Henry moves to second. Kavanaugh's at first with nobody out, and their Larks are down by 2. That is Kavanaugh's 2nd walk this season in 28 plate appearances. Takes us to Cortland Lawson, the Tennessee Volunteer, a very dangerous bat. Has played in a handful of games for the Larks after being a late addition to the season, after spending some time in a portion of the Larks season with the Tennessee Volunteers as they look to win the College World Series. He's played in 11 games and been aboard in every single game. Sends a line drive between the shortstop and the third baseman, Henderson and Escarcega, and the Larks have their 3rd straight base runner, their 2nd hit of the game. They're reading Kopecky's arm well, and they load the bases here with nobody out.
From Fort State University, the right fielder, number 21, Grant Schmidt.
Takes us to Grant Schmidt, the Fort Hays State Tiger batting cleanup. The right fielder leads the team in home runs, tied with Tyler Palmer, each guy with 6. Schmidt comes in this game batting .337 this season. In his last game, he went 1 for 4, drove in a run, and scored 1 himself. That 1 hit was a double. His first delivery from Kopecky will miss outside 1-0. Kopecky throwing strikes on. That number's not right. It shows he's only thrown 3 pitches in this game. I'll wait for that to update before I read his stat line from the game. It's a 1-0 count to Schmidt. The right fielder from Hastings, Nebraska, off speed will miss outside and low, 2-0. Kopecky throwing strikes on 38% of his pitches today. He's thrown 2 first pitch strikes to the 4 batters he's faced. 2-0, Corral on deck. This delivery will be above the letters of Schmidt, and it's a 3-0 count. Kopecky walked Kavanaugh a couple batters ago and is looking to not walk in a run. Dangles his arm, looks home, righty versus righty matchup. Grant square in the box. This delivery and off speed will be above the letters, and they will give Grant Schmidt a 4-pitch walk, the second 4-pitch walk of the game for Kopecky. And Schmidt picks up an RBI, scoring is Zach Henry, and the Larks have cut the deficit in half against Oklahoma City, and they're still yet to get an out.
From the University of Texas at Arlington, number 15, Sam Crow.
That's Grant's 8th walk this season and 22nd RBI. He has the most RBIs on the team by 2, and scoring is Zach Henry. And that is Henry's 20th run scored this season. That is 5th on the team. Five straight balls here from Kopecky. It's a 1-0 count to Sam Crow. Base is still loaded. Kavanaugh at third, Lawson at second, Schmidt at first. Make it 6 straight balls as this one will miss the zone. Crow the DH tonight. He's been at first base catching and the designated hitter for the Larks this season. Had an injury in the first road trip against Denver, and has since been back in the order and been on fire. 2-1. The Larks' last game was on Tuesday. They had Wednesday and Thursday off, and they won 8-0 sweeping. In that game, Sam Corral did not make an appearance, had the day off, and he has a 2-2 count here. That was a great game for the Larks. Hunter Parker was on the mound, and he threw, according to the Hayes Daily newspaper, the first 9-inning shutout in 5 years for the Larks. It was a 9-inning shutout, just was unsure on the year, but shout out to the Hayes Daily for getting that one right. Chop over the first base side, post on, runs in and throws out to home. Richardson tags home plate before Kavanaugh can get there, and Corral will reach on a fielder's choice. That's the first out of the first inning. Schmidt to second, Lawson to third, Corral to first, and it brings up Grant Lung, the first baseman from the University of Sioux Falls. In Grant's season, his second season with the Larks, second full season, he has an OBP above 415. Going back to Hunter Parker's dominant performance on the mound, he was just throwing strikes, kept it in the zone. 75% of his 96 pitches were in the zone. 72 pitches were in the zone to be exact. Through 9 great innings, Fort Collins threatened to score in the ninth, but they still couldn't get that runner home from third. It was the first runner past second base in the game. They picked up 7 hits against Parker, and he struck out 5. Just was dynamic on the mound. It was the best outing for any Larks pitcher this season. It was the longest. 0-2 count here to the first baseman. Grant Lung had spent some time at second base for the past 3 years for the Larks. That's mainly where he played for the Larks. I'm not sure he played a game outside of second base for the Larks. And he said it's been a while since he played first base when the Larks went on the road, and they put him there, and he's been great for the Larks at the number 3 position on the defensive alignment. 1-2 count to Lung with 1 away. Bases loaded. Hayes down by 1. Fastball will miss inside to him. He has a 2-2 count. Becky played club for Blue Chip Nevada. He's a 6'1 righty, 19 years old. At one point had his fastball clocked in at 84 miles an hour, and his breaking ball is clocked in between 63 and 70 miles an hour, according to his NCSA profile. Pop fly into center field is going to be Bocock making the catch. He throws home, and Lawson will score. It's going to be a sacrifice fly for Grant Lung, and we're tied just like that. 2-2 ball game, 2 on in the bottom of the first with 2 away. For Grant Lung, that is RBI number 17 this season, and that brought home Cortland Lawson for Cortland's 15th run scored this season through 12 games. Remarkable numbers for those two guys. And coming up to the plate now will be Tyler Palmer, the ever-dangerous Nebraska Cornhusker at the plate. First delivery to Tyler, he swings under and sends it high to right field. It's Prather getting under it. He's out the right field line, reaches back at the last second and records out number 3. Larks bring 7 hitters to the plate, get RBIs from Schmidt and Lung, and runs scored from Henry and Lawson. They tied a game, and we'll take a 2-2 game to the second inning here in Hays, Kansas. Top of the second, and the first pitch is going to be singled into center field off of Cameron Poston, the first baseman, and we'll get an error from Zach Henry. Had some trouble scooping it up, and Jackson Blue allows his third hit of the game, and that is the fourth runner to get into scoring position here through one inning against Jackson Blue. Poston has second here to get this second inning going. Larks got 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs, and left 2 guys on base. In the first inning, we're tied up at 2-2 here in the top of the second. A lot of 2s on the stat sheet today. This one will go down as a 1-0-1 count as Dalton Richardson is at the plate. Richardson, the catcher, out of Bacone College. 0-1, fastball low, 1 ball and a strike. Blew out a couple hits, hit a batter, and had 2 runs scored on him. And he left 1 guy on base in the first inning. Fastball low, Evans drops down and blocks it, 2-1 count. On deck is Garrett Bocock with Braden Escarcega in the hole for the Oklahoma City Generals. Richardson's left foot's on the line on the far side of right-hander's batter's box. Not crowding the plate by any means here. And he has a 3-1 count as this one misses inside. 3-1 hitters counts for the catcher. Blue goes home, gets a swing and a miss on pitch number 5 of the AB, and we'll have a full count. Larks fans and Oklahoma City fans, be sure to subscribe while watching the stream. Click the notification bell. You'll get notified each time we go live all season long. It's free of charge. The payoff pitch is a fastball outside, and Blue walks his 21st batter of the season, his first of the game, and there's 2 on with nobody out. In the first inning, he hit a guy and then struck out Daniel for out number 1. Back-to-back hits, scored 1 run, and then on a ground out to Grant Lung from Jasper, scored the second run, and then Blue got a fly out to end the first inning. This is the 7th team that Blue has faced this season on the mound. Throws a first pitch strike against Bocock, the center fielder at the bottom of the order from Southwestern Christian. Runner takes off from second, and Bocock will foul this one out of play. He's down the count, no balls, and a couple strikes. Blue has gotten 17 guys left on base this season through 21 innings, and he has 4 1-2-3 innings on the mound, and 8 of his 21 innings were on 13 pitches or fewer. He looks home. The tallest guy on the Larks roster, Blue, will go home with an 0-2 count. Dancing at second is Poston. Blue misses the zone here, 1-2. Blue, a 6'5 freshman from the Woodlands, Texas. The righty, and will go home. The 1-2 is on its way. It misses inside, and Evans snags it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Escarcega on deck with Daniel in the hole for Oklahoma City. They've scored 2 runs, and they got 1 in scoring position here already. And after having an 0-2 count, 3 straight balls makes it a full count. It's a non-league game, so whatever happens here won't have any effect on the standings of the RMBL as the Larks look to secure their 2nd straight title and their 2nd year in the league. Pop fly over the backstop, over the grandstand, and out of the ballpark. Hayes has a couple of hits. Oklahoma City has 3. Hayes has, at the plate, gotten 2 walks, and Oklahoma City has gotten 1. 1 error from Hayes. It was in this inning. And after having an 0-2 count, Blue throws 4 straight balls and walks his 2nd straight batter, and he loads the bases here in the 2nd inning. Richardson to 2nd, Poston to the 3rd, and Bocock will take first base. Takes us to the top of the order. Braden Escarcega saw 1 pitch in the 1st inning when he was hit by a pitch. Evans trots to the mound, and Courtney Lawson will come in from 3rd, and out of the dugout will be pitching coach Keith Harper, and we'll take a quick break. Top of the order, bases loaded, quick mound meeting, and Blues' first pitch will miss the high inside corner. 1-0 here to the shortstop. Escar Sega, the starting shortstop at the top of the order. And he sends one to right field. It's going to drop. One scores, two will score. And the runner from first base is going to be held up at third as a throw home goes to Evans. He throws to Lawson at third base, and it's a 2 RBI double for Braden Escarcega. He scored a run and now driven in 2. He brought home Poston and Richardson, and it's a 4-2 ball game, and Blue is looking shaky in this game.
The left fielder, number 10, Barrett Daniel.
Blue has, I was saying in the first inning, tremendous stuff on the rubber. It's the mental game that's going to decide this performance today. So big opportunity to showcase what he could do mentally and respond after having 4 runs score on him. He's allowed 2 hits in this inning and 2 walks, and has allowed 2 runs without recording an out. This one sent into shallow right field. Pearson will slide. It's off his glove. It drops to Schmidt. His throw off the line, and that'll be run scored number 3 of the inning, number 5 of the day. As scoring is Bocock, and Escarcega moves to third base. There's runners on the corners, and it's ruled a hit. It's an RBI single for Daniel, and Larks might have overlooked an opponent today, as they have allowed 5 runs on only 3 outs. Bottom 3 in the order have each scored and gotten aboard in this inning. All 5 batters have been aboard in the second inning. Blue gets the strike call here against Parker Henderson, and he has an 0-1 count. Larks look good offensively in the first inning. It's been the pitching in this game that's not been the strong suit. Due up for the Larks in the bottom of the second will be the 8-9-1 hitters, Pearson, Evans, and Henry. And Evans calls time as Escarcega's got something going on at third base. We'll get back to the bag, and Blue will go from the stretch. 0-1 count. Runners on the corners. Escarcega at third. Daniel at first. Henderson at the dish. Henderson's 1 for 1 today with a run scored and an RBI on his single back in the first inning. Should be a pretty winnable game for the Larks, but they got to respond here. 0-1. Blue will miss the zone on this delivery. 1 ball and 1 strike here to the third baseman batting third in the order. Blue has an opponent batting average of .302. He throws strikes on 54% of his pitches this season. And in this game is throwing him on 53. Throw to second is not going to be in time, and the throw home from Cam Pearson will not be in time either. And the Oklahoma City Generals will score a run and steal a base. Daniel goes to second. Escarcega scores his second run of the day. And he also has a couple RBIs. It's a 6-2 ball game. And to the pen is Trevor Munch. Could be a reliable arm for the Larks as they'll look to come back. There's a runner at second in what's been a disastrous first 2 innings. Larks still haven't gotten out here in the second. Blue takes a couple looks at second and will go home. Ground ball to first base. A beautiful snag from Lung. Loses his balance and will tag first. A great play from Lung will save a run as Henderson grounds out. He's now 1 for 2. Moving to third base is Daniel. So a guy who hasn't played a ton of first base in his collegiate career makes a couple nice plays this season. At first base, he continues it today, 1 away with the runner at third base here in the second inning, the first out. And we will go to the 7th batter of the inning. It's Trevor Kinsey. The DH, he singled, and he sends one into center field here. Henry gets under, a runner tagging from third. He catches it, crow hops, and the throw home is not going to be in time. It's a sacrifice fly for Kinsey, and he has his second RBI, and things are falling apart. The wheels are coming off the bus. They'll check down to third, and they do say that Daniel tagged. He scores his first run, and Kinsey picks up an RBI. All but one guy in Oklahoma City's order has either an RBI or a run scored. It's now a 7-2 ball game. Bases are empty with 2 away. Takes us to Jay Jasper, the 8th hitter of the inning. He's 0 for 1 of the day with the ground out, but he also picked an RBI on the play. Blue misses the outside corner, 1-0. Through 1 2/3, Blue has allowed 5 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, and 7 earned runs on 44 pitches. Pitch number 45 is in the zone. It's a 1-1 count. Larks picked up a couple of runs in the first inning. They're going to have to score more than that to get back in this game. 2-1. Larks never count them out of the game. They were down by 10 to the game. The Saints came back and won in 12 innings. We're down big to the Cannons, came back and won that game. And so never count these guys out. That game against the Cannons was the game that Blue started, and he went 2 innings. That was at Augusta on July 6th. Tyler Palmer capped that game off with 4 innings pitched, got the win, and drove in 6 runs. Pop fly over the left side. Lawson chases it to the wall, and it'll drop into the Hayes Larks fan pavilion. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. In that game, Hayes was down 7-2 after the 3rd inning, and they went into the 6th inning down 8-2, scored a couple runs, and then the Cannons got 3 back. It was an 11-4 ball game going into the 8th inning. Hayes picked up 5 runs in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to tie it, and in the extra innings, they picked up 4 runs. As I mentioned, Tyler Palmer, he had 3 hits and a home run in that game, picked up 6 of the Larks, 15 runs, driving them in. It was a huge game for him and a huge win for the Larks in a non-league game. The 2-2 delivery will miss inside, and Blue struggling with his location against Jay Jasper as a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, bases empty in the top of the 2nd inning, and a 7-2 ball game live from Hayes, Kansas. Payoff pitch from Blue. It's grounded hard to the first base side and foul. No first base coach for the Sooner State League All-Stars. Munch, Crowell, and Divis all down in the pen. Divis had an injury in his last game with the Larks. He's on his foot, and he's getting the night off today. Payoff pitch will be inside, and that is walk number 3 of the inning and of the day for the Sooner State League All-Stars, known as the Oklahoma City Generals. So this will be the 9th hitter of the inning. It's Drayden Prather. He flew out to Grant Schmidt to end the top of the 1st inning. 3 walks and 3 hits for Oklahoma City in this inning. The first pitch is at the head of Prather, and he dodges it 1-0. 5 hits for OKC, 3 in this inning, and Blue misses above the letters high, 2-0. Munch throwing his first pitches now after getting loose, and the Larks have a 5-run deficit. 2-0 fastball popped over the head of Pearson. He drifts back. It's going to drop in right field, and it's going to be a 2-out single, and the Oklahoma City Generals have batted around. Jasper at second, and Prather at first base.
The first baseman, number 4, Cameron Posa.
So Poston comes to the plate. He's the guy who led off this inning with a single, and he came around to score the 3rd run of the game for OKC. 2 away in the top of the 2nd, and Blue goes home, catches the outside corner, no balls and a strike. No balls and a strike. Blue goes home. The 0-1 delivery, and off speed popped over into right center field. Henry and Schmidt move towards it. Henry calls off Schmidt and records out number 3. 10 hitters come to the plate for OKC. They get 4 hits and 3 walks. They score 5 runs, and that's going to be a long top of the 2nd. Larks look to answer in the bottom half. Long time the second. We'll go to the bottom half. Leading off is the Fort Hays State commits Cam Pearson. In the top of this inning, 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 runs, and 5 runs, 2 guys left on base. For OKC, they have a 7-2 lead. Off-speed to Pearson will miss above the letters to tonight's second baseman. He spent most of his defensive time with the Larks this season in the outfield and is getting his past 2 starts at the second base spot. 2-0 count, nobody out, nobody on. This delivery will catch the outside part of the plate, 2-1 on the fastball. Evans on deck with Henry in the hole for Hayes. Kopecky back to the mound. Allowed 2 hits, a couple walks, and a couple runs, and left 2 on in the first inning. 3 balls and a strike as this one will miss high. Pearson, an Arizona native, played at Cochise before committing to Fort Hays State University, and I'm sure the Tigers and Jared Goodale are extremely excited to have him coming. 3-1, he sends it to the deepest part of the ballpark. Bocock moves back in center, gets under it, has some trouble reading it, lunges at the last second, and records out number 1 on a ball that was well hit from Pearson. 3 straight flyouts, one of those a sacrifice fly, and there's one away.
From Murray State Community College, number 7, Brady Evans.
Coming to the plate now is the catcher, Brady Evans, Murray State Aggie. Batting at the bottom of the order, he has Zach Henry on deck with Matt Cavanaugh in the hole. Brady batted at the bottom of the order in the Larks' last game. He went 1 for 2 and scored or drove in 1 run, but he also picked up a couple of walks on the day at the bottom of the order. Here he has an 0-1 count against Kopecky, his first look at him in his career. Kopecky goes to Oklahoma City University, plays for the OCU Stars. He's a Las Vegas native. The Larks have had a few Vegas natives on their team the past 3 years. 3 Las Vegas, Nevada natives, 2 in 2019 with Michael Wong and Justin Lee. Wong played at UTA, and Justin Lee played at Cochise, and we got 1 this year, an addition. It's Derek Decolati, the Las Vegas, Nevada native, plays for the University of Nevada. He's a 5'10 sophomore. He's pitched in 1 game, and here with the 1-2 counts, it's a double for Brady Evans with 1 away. He's down by 5. They have a runner at scoring position. It's going to be Leo Geminian, courtesy running for the catcher. He fist bumps Evans and goes to the 2 bag. Coming up to the plate is Zach Henry. He's 1 for 1 today. Roped a single back in the first inning. Geminian, the center fielder from France, has a ton of speed. Our teammates love him. Fundraised to get him tickets to go back to France to see his family before the NBC. He got him booked pretty recently and talked to him before the game. I know he's excited to go back and see his loved ones. Henry sends his first pitch into center field. Bocock moves in, and Geminian will go back to second base with 2 away. Brings up Matt Cavanaugh. He's 0 for 0 on the day with a walk back in the first inning. He's riding a 6-game hitting streak. Larks, his team, carrying an 8-game winning streak, looking for number 9 here. 20-4 on the season, 10-2 in the league. 2-away runner at second for Matt Cav, the Cowboy, the UTA Maverick. He was out on a fielder's choice off the bat of Sam Crown with the bases loaded. That was the first out of the first inning. First delivery to Cavanaugh. He swings at a curveball. Can't make contact. Has an 0-1 count. Larks brought 7 to the plate in the first inning, and this is batter number 4. Due up in the third inning for OKC will be Richardson, Bocock, and Escarcega. And Keith Harper's down the bullpen talking to Munch. We'll see if Munch is ready for the third. 0-1 delivery will miss outside. 1 ball and a strike to Cav. Cav's third year with the Larks. In 2019 was first team All-League KCLB and was the defensive player of the league in the Larks' lone year in the Kansas Collegiate League Baseball Conference. And then switched to the Rocky Mountain Baseball League last year, and there was no awards given out. That one was lined at the Larks dugout. It was right at Jackson Blue, who's wearing shorts now, so it's going to be a day for Jackson Blue, and we'll see Munch for the third inning. 1 ball and a couple strikes on Calf. A's has 3 hits. One in this inning was off of Brady Evans. It was a double, and you got Leo Jiminian to run for him at second. The 1-2 home will miss off the turf. Jiminian thought about going to third, holds up, and Cav has a 2-2 count. Gavin, his first year with the Larks, played in 27 games, had his season come up a little bit short as he battled an injury. Batted .330 on the season, picked up 23 RBIs, and had the least strikeouts among the team, with guys who had over 100 at-bats, had just 6. Was a 2-time All-District Defensive Player of the Year at Keller in 2017 and 2018, and we'll see what we can do on offense today in 2021. He is a full count, looking for his second walk or his first hit. Anthony Kopecky looks in, the star from Oklahoma City U. Will deliver the payoff pitch. It's home. It's inside. Kavanaugh brings his hands in and lines it into the fan pavilion. So we'll get another payoff pitch and get the 7th pitch of this AB. Becky thrown 38 pitches, under 50% strikes, 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 earned runs. And will strike out Kavanaugh on the second payoff pitch. It's his first strikeout of the day, and the Larks down by 5 as we move to the third on Larks Network. After 2 innings, Jackson Blue's 8th appearance of the season will come to an end. Taking on the mound will be the third-year pitcher Trevor Munch, Lawrence, Kansas native. Last pitch at Wichita State. Munch's first delivery home is sent to right field side and out of play. 0-1 to the leadoff hitter Dalton Richardson. He's 0 on the day. He walked back in the second inning and scored the second run of that inning, part of that 5-run inning. 2 runs in the first, 5 in the second for Oklahoma City. This is appearance number 8 for Trevor, and gets the ground ball back to him. He comes off the mound, one that had some crazy spin on it. He'll make some great adjustments and throw to first. Good reactions for the southpaw to Lawrence.
The center fielder, number 7, Garrett Bocock.
Takes us to Garrett Bocock. He walked in the second inning as well and scored. Munch has just one start on the season. It was his first appearance. It was against the Sox where he went 3 innings. Had 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and a couple walks. Since then, it's all been in relief. And he's yet to pick up a decision or had a save opportunity this season. He's allowed 12 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, and 14 strikeouts. 0-1 count here to the center fielder from Southwestern Christian University. 0-1, Munch goes home. Nice off speed. He gets a swing and a miss. Great break on that pitch. Blue throws 2 innings, 57 pitches, 31 strikes, has 6 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Got 2 groundouts and 3 flyouts. The 0-2 from Munch. It's in the zone. It's a swing and a miss, but it gets away from Evans. And breaking down the first base line is Bocock, and the throw from Evans will pull Long off the first base bag. And it's going to be going down as the Larks' second error of the day officially on the drop third strike. So, drop third strike rule has been one that's been receiving a lot of discussion the past few years for whether it should be legit or not. No matter what your opinion is, it's still a base runner today in this game, and Bocock is at first. One away, runner at first in a 7-2 ball game. Munch goes home, gets a swing and a miss. Out to Braden Escarcega, his third at bat in 3 innings. He has a double and a hit by pitch on the day, 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Larks fans and Oklahoma City fans, be sure to follow Larks on Twitter and on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube to stay up to date with baseball this summer. All things Larks baseball all summer long. 0-1, sent to right field. Schmidt comes in and records out number 2 on a pretty easy fly ball for him. Takes us to Barrett Daniel as Escarcega is now 1 for 2. Daniel from Seminole State is 1 for 2 with a single, a strikeout, and a run scored. 2 away here with that runner at first. That strikeout for Munch was number 15 this season. And this one will miss the zone. 1-0. Munch has a whip of 1.76 and an ERA of 4.67 in this Summer League season. It's his 3rd year in a Larks uniform. This one is the 75th anniversary season. Runner takes off from first. Munch's pickoff attempt will go to first. Long will throw to second and throw out. Bocock, good thinking from Munch to go to first as he didn't move that leg forward yet. Does what he needed to do and gets out number 3. Larks hold Oklahoma City silent for the first inning today. In the third, they'll take a 5-run deficit to the bottom half of this 3rd inning. Leading off the third inning for the Larks bats will be Cortland Lawson, a Virginia native. His family made the trip from Virginia to watch their son play tonight. And for the weekend, as a single on the day, and as 1-for-1, he scored the Larks' second and latest run back in the first inning. He's down 7-2. Kopecky looks in and will deliver his first pitch to the righty Tennessee Volunteer. It goes home and it misses outside 1-0. One and 0 to Lawson. As Kopecky's in his third inning of work, this one will be off the plate, 2-0. Through the first two innings, Kopecky threw 39 pitches, it says. Also gave up 2 earned runs, a strikeout, allowed a couple of walks, and gave up 3 hits. Line to left field side. Escarcega makes a nice play to save a hit. And that will be a line out from Lawson and get the bottom of the third inning going, and it takes us to Grant Schmidt.
The Larks right fielder, Grant Schmidt.
One away. Base is empty here at the bottom of the third. Schmidt walked back in the first inning and drove in a run on the walk. Got to second base and was left there. Sends a blooper over the head of Escarcega. The shortstop is not going to be able to get to this one. And it's the Larks' 4th hit of the game, their first of the inning. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, now 1 in the third. And there's a runner at first for Sam Crown. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning when the throw from Poston went home and got out Matt Capp. 2 in the third now for Kopecky on 43 pitches. And he's given up 4 hits. Stone strikes on 51% of his pitches. One away. Schmidt has his lead at first base. It's a decent-sized one. Kopecky goes home and misses outside here. 1-0 to Crowell, who's 0 for 1. DH from Texas plays at UTA and is ahead in the counts. Kopecky looks home, sports that number 12 jersey, and delivers one above the letters. They'll throw down to Schmidt. Ball gets away a little bit from Poston, but he scrambles to it and keeps Schmidt at first base. 2-0. Second straight AB for Crown, where he works a 2-0 count. 14th game played this season for Crown. He's batting .395 and has an on-base percentage above 500 at .556. He has an on-base plus slugging pushing 1.3. Ridiculous. Just great numbers. A lot of Larks have great numbers on the season. The offense has been huge for the Larks this season. Don't need that offense today. Down 7-2. 2-1 counts. Ground ball to third base. Henderson scoops it. Throws to second for 1. The throw to first will not be in time. And he gets away from Poston. And Crown takes a hard round to first. And is going to be tagged out at second after down 1. So that's a quick third inning. Larks only bring 3 guys to the dish. And Crown reached on a fielder's choice for the second inning. And won't be staying on first base. He's out at second. Larks are down by 5, and they need a rally going to the 4th. Top of the fourth, Trevor Munch back to the mound for his second inning. His first pitch is taken to the Larks bullpen. He has an 0-1 count against Barrett Daniel. He's 1 for 2 in the day with a run scored and a single. And Munch faced three hitters in the third inning in that completed their AB. Struck out one, but Bocock reached on a drop third strike. Daniel was actually at the plate in the third inning, and then Bocock was out at second base trying to steal. Munch picked him off, and then Lung threw down to second base and got out number 3 of that inning. It was a 0 hit, 0 walk, 0 runs, 0 runners left on base inning. The first zeros in all those stat categories except for walks and a single inning. 6 hits for OKC in their first 3 innings. They've been struck out 2 times. 1 from Munch, 1 from Blue. No balls and a couple strikes here to the 2-hole left fielder. Pops this one up and out of play over the back side of the ballpark. So 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this inning for Oklahoma City. They're a combined 3 for 5. Daniel at the plate scored a run in the last inning, sends this one over the right side and moves into foul territory, and so does Grant Lung, and he makes a last-second adjustment, dives to his right, loses his sunglasses but records the out in the process. Good effort from the first baseman from USF for out number 1. Takes us to Parker Henderson, the 3-hole from Southwestern Christian.
The designated hitter, number 21, Trevor Kinsey. Correction, the third baseman, number 6, Parker Henderson.
Henderson 1 for 2 on the day with a single RBI and a run scored. He grounded out to Grant Lung in the second inning and picked up his RBI. First pitch to him, inside 1-0. Munch's father drove down from Lawrence and is in attendance today. He's Munch one of 3 guys in the Larks lineup tonight that were announced having family at the ballpark tonight. Larks always do a great job. Ken Winholz, the PA announcer, doing a great job to let those families get recognition, as it's always a pleasure to have them at the ballpark and watching the games. 2-0. Munch goes home. Off speed outside, and it's fouled off. 2-1 to Henderson. Kinsey on deck with Jasper in the hole. Larks in the last inning got 1 hit, but nothing came from it. They have 4 hits today, picked up 2 walks. They've scored 2 runs, and they left 3 guys on. 3 runners left on base for OKC. They picked up 7 runs, 3 walks, and 6 hits. Fastball from Munch, nice location. Couldn't place it better over the outside low corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes against the 3-hole. Cleanup hitter on deck. Larks defense straight up. And this one will miss outside. Big payoff pitch coming. Munch struck out 1 today. He's total of 15 on the season. He's walked just 5 guys in 2021. Tall southpaw goes from the stretch. The payoff pitch, a fastball, and Henderson fouls it off himself. Wind has started to die down. Still a nice little breeze coming in from left field, but shouldn't have too much of effect on balls flown into the outfield. We get payoff pitch number 2 from Munch here. He's thrown 17 pitches through 1 in the 3rd. Payoff pitch number 2 and off speed. Hangs in the air and it gets fouled off, and we'll get a 3rd payoff pitch. And what is now going to be an 8-pitch AB. Munch yet to allow a hit. Probably see Kopecky back to the mound for the 4th inning. Not a lot of guys on the all-star roster for OKC, so arms will be shorthanded against the Larks of these 2 games. Payoff pitch number 3 will miss the zone, and Munch walks his 6th batter of the season. And there's a runner at first with 1 away. Fourth walk of the day given up from the Hayes Larks. Takes us to Trevor Kinsey. We got Trevor versus Trevor now. Trevor Kinsey, he's 1 for 1 with a single and a sacrifice fly. Also drove in a run. Munch is 6'4" lefty. Pitched at Wichita State in 2020 and had a year off in 2021. About just 2 walks and 3 earned runs for the Shockers at Wichita State. And before that was at McLennan. Spent a couple years there. Made 15 appearances in his second year. Actually spent 3 years there. Redshirted in 2017. I'm looking at the wrong stat. I'll correct that in a second as he allows a single to Kinsey, and there's 2 on. So Munch spent 2 years at Oklahoma, 2017 redshirting, and then pitched there in 2018. Made 2 appearances for the Sooners, where Larks utility guy Cade Brown plays for now. And then 2019, he went to McLennan, who just won a national championship in the JUCO league, or in the JUCO ranks. And at McLennan, Trevor made 15 appearances, went 4-1 with 31 punch-outs, 14 walks, had a strikeout per 9 innings rate of 12.68. And then came to the Larks for his second season in 2020 after that. After pitching for the Larks in 2019, he only made a handful of appearances, but in 2020, 10 appearances on the rubber. He went 2-2 with a whip, just a couple ticks above 1 at 1.02. Allowed 6 hits, had 1 start and 1 save. 1-0 count here to Jay Jasper, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. He drove in a run on his ground out back in the first inning. That single was hit number 7 of the day for OKC, and it was Kinsey's second of the day. He's 2 for 2. Henderson at second, Kinsey at first. 1-0, swung on a miss. Great pitch from Munch to even up the count. Munch coming out of high school in his senior year in Lawrence, 1.71 ERA with 59 strikeouts in 2016. Got a first team All-League, All-States mentions in that year. And then in 2015 was an honorable mention All-States as a junior. Was given the title of 6th ranked left-handed pitcher in the state of Kansas and the 21st overall player in Kansas by Perfect Game. 1 ball, 2 strikes, went away 2-1 in the top of the 4th inning with the 5-hole at the plates. Jasper, the second baseman out of Mid-America University. 1-2, Munch goes home. And this throw will go down to second base. Kavanaugh grips it a couple times. And after a double clutch, he gives enough time for Henderson to move to third. Good reactions from Henderson to risk going to third. The Generals taking their risk today. And that throw from Evans almost hit Munch. He wasn't quite ready for that one. And Kavanaugh's throw to third was not in time. Henderson at third. Kinsey at first. Runners on the corners and a 2-2 count in a 5-run ball game. Count even, the 2 delivery home, and it's a reaching swing on one Jasper just trying to stay alive on. He will stay alive as he pops it over to the first base side. Lung chases it to the dugout's wall, and it will be out of play.
We appreciate your returning the foul balls to the Larks. Still get $1 courtesy of the Hayes Police Department.
We'll stay at 2-2. Jasper looking at the board for the second time today. Kavanaugh playing close to the second base bag as this one's hit back and to the right side out of play into the parking lot. So look for the Larks to turn a double play by Cam Pearson. It's pretty far away from the second base bag. Cortland Lawson went a little bit away from third base. Larks don't use a whole lot of shifts, but they're doing in one right now. Big gap on the third base side. Harrison actually in the grass now. So Larks not exactly looking to turn 2. And a 2-2 delivery will be outside, and Evans again blocks it. And it's a full count. Traden Prather on deck for Oklahoma. Get a payoff pitch from Munch. His last one, he allowed a walk. This one will catch the outside corner, and he picks up strikeout number 2 on the day. And that was a great pitch, great location. He got Jasper to go down looking, and that's out number 2. Larks will shift their defense to straight up, and we'll tell you how they line up now. Tyler Palmer's in left field with Zach Henry in center. Grant Schmidt's in right field. Cortland Lawson in the hot corner. Kavanaugh at short. Pearson at second and Grant Long at first base. And Brady Evans behind the dish. And now Trevor Munch on the mound replacing Jackson Blue. Runner takes off to second. And Pearson will apply the tag as Kinsey is thrown out. That's the first caught stealing today from Brady Evans that he'll throw out. And that ends the fourth inning. Hayes keeps Oklahoma City off the board. And Drayden Prather won't get a hit. He'll lead off the fifth. Larks down by 5, looking to rally in the bottom half. Leading off the bottom half of the fourth for the Hayes Larks is tonight's beverage batter, Grant Lung. He's 0 for 0 on the day with a sacrifice fly and an RBI. The 0-1, he grounded hard to the first base side. Osteen chases it, but it will be foul. 0-1 counts. Comes a 0-2 counts. Along the Peoria, Arizona native. Is in his second full season with the Larks. Last year he batted .283 through 26 games. And in 16 games in 2021, he has an batting average of .304, and he'll strike out for the 15th time this season right there. Strikeout number 2 today for Anthony Kopecky on the rubber. One away, bases empty for Tyler Palmer. Palmer on the day, 0 for 1. He flew out to Prather to end the Larks' first inning rally in which they tied the game up at 2-2. A 1-1 counts, one away. And this one will catch Palmer. And he'll take first base the painful way. Second hit by pitch we've seen today. The other one was off the hand of Jackson Blue. This one off the hand of Anthony Kopecky. Split a runner at first with one away for Cam Harrison, the Fort Hays State Tiger, formerly a Cochise College Apache. Hayes has 4 hits. 1 in the last inning, 1 in the second, and 2 in the first. Harrison on the day, he flew out to Bocock for out number 1 at the bottom of the second inning. Palmer does have speed. He has a decent-sized lead at first base and won't take off on this delivery. It's high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Hey, Joey, you get a second. This
1 away. Brady Evans on deck with Zach Henry in the hole for Hayes. It's Kopecky's 4th inning of work. He has a 1-0 count against Pearson. And Tyler Palmer takes off. And Pearson chases this one and sends it out at play. One and one away. It's Pearson's second season with the Larks. He's batting .355 this year with a .422 OBP. Check over at first base. Tyler Palmer's back in time. Single here from Cam Pearson with 1 away. Moves Tyler Palmer to second base. And Pearson picks up another single on the season. Number 20 to be exact. Tyler at second in scoring position. Larks looking to rally. They put 2 straight on as we go to Brady Evans. But as the Larks' only extra base hit of the day was a double back in the second inning. He got to second base, and after a pop-up and a strikeout from the top of the order, was stranded there. 1 away, and this delivery will come home. It misses low, 1-0. Nobody up in the pen for the OKC Generals, and the same for the Larks side of the dugouts. 1-0, Evans ropes to left field. If it drops, it's good for extra bases. It drops, but it drops in foul territory. 1-1 count. That double from Evans back in the second inning was his 3rd double of the season. Has 15 hits, 8 singles, and then 7 extra base hits, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. He'll get back in his stance at the back of the batter's box. Kopecky looks at Palmer a couple times, goes home, misses off speed. Low, Palmer goes to second. Palmer goes to third. Pearson goes to second. And there's 2 in scoring position with 1 away and a 2-1 count and a 5-run ball game. Larks looking to rally here. Have 5 hits. They've given up a couple errors. No errors from Oklahoma's side. And the Oklahoma City University star delivers off speed that drops outside on the curveball. 3-1 counts. Hitters counts for a very dangerous bat. Brady this year at Murray State batted .294 with an on-base percentage of .391 through 47 games for the Aggies. And 14 extra base hits. In 2020, his first freshman season with them batted .433 with a .500 on-base percentage. Lines this one to left field is in the same exact spots where his second one dropped. Almost dropped in the exact same spots. There's probably a dent in the dirt where the previous one dropped, and now one right next to it where that one dropped. So he'll do it again and wait a little bit longer on this pitch, and his count is now full. Palmer at third, Pearson at second. Big gap in the right center part of the ballpark after seeing 2 foul balls to the left side. Bocock shifts to the left field side of things. So you can look Oppo, could bring in 2 easily. Takes this one and sends it into the stands on a pop-up. So we get a second payoff pitch from Kopecky. Kopecky 3 1/3, 59 pitches, 32 strikes, 5 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And another payoff pitch lined up the middle. Kopecki's not going to get it. Palmer scores from third. Pearson sprinting home from second. And Bocon got some trouble with it at center field. And Evans picks it back on to third on the errant throw after an errant fielding. And it's going to be a base hit for Brady Evans. Goes to second on the trouble fielding from Bocon. We'll see if they ruled a single or a double. No sign of an error yet. And either way, Brady Evans picks up RBIs number 7 and 8 on the season. Pearson scores his 22nd run this year. That is third on the team. And scoring also was Tyler Palmer. Tyler just scored his 17th run this season. And that takes it to the top of the order. Zach Henry, Larks rallying here. It's a single and an E8, but he does pick up 2 RBIs. Leo Jiminian will run yet again for Brady Evans, who has a double and a single. Henry sends this one slowly back to the mound. Kopecki rushes in and throws out Evans at first base for out number 2 of the ball game, or the inning. Zach Henry now 1 for 3. Winner at third here in a 7-4 ball game. 2 away, and Kavanaugh to the dish. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. His strikeout into the second inning. Larks scored 2 in the first inning. They scored 2 in the fourth here, and then were silent in the 2 previous innings. This delivery home is going to get away from Richardson, and Jiminian's going to get caught in no man's land. Started to break home, and Richardson got to it quicker than Leo could react to it. And that'll end the 4th inning. So Kavanaugh will be the guy who leads off the 5th inning. And Hayes gets a couple of runs back on a couple of hits. And we'll take a 3-run deficit to the 5th. Top of the 5th, Munch to the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Throws a first pitch fastball inside to Drayden Prather, and it's a 1-0 count. Munch allowed a 1 hit and a walk in the 4th inning, but left one guy on and ended the inning. This one inside again, but it does catch the plate. 1 ball and a strike to Prather. Prather out of Bacone College. He's getting the start in right field today, batting 6th in the order. The 1-1 delivery home is sent to right field. Schmidt barely has to move, goes to his right, waits on it, and records out number 1 of the 5th inning. So it'll take us to Cameron Poston. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out. Both of his at-bats were back in the 2nd inning when OKC picked up their 5 runs in that inning after scoring 2 in the previous. It's a 3-run lead for them. Pop fly over the left side. Evans loses the mask. Lawson comes in, calls him off, and secures it in his glove. So back-to-back balls in the air and for outs. And it takes us to Dalton Richardson and what's been a quick 2 outs. 2 away in the top of the 5th. Do it for the Larks in the bottom half is 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Kavanaugh, Lawson, and Schmidt. Munch looks home, and the 6'4 southpaw will deliver. First delivery here to Richardson, the catcher, swung on and fouled off. Richardson, the catcher from Bacone College. One of 5 guys on the roster from that school. 1-1 counts. Got a couple guys up in the pen and moving for Hayes, 2 righties. Punch misses high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 away. A fly out to Schmidt and a pop up to Lawson. And this inning. This one will miss the zone. 2-1. Two-one from Munch, comes home, ground over the right side, and it's off Grant Long's glove. He scoops it up and tags first base. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Munch, and he's retired 4 straight. As we go to the bottom half, Hayes looking to rally down 7-4. Trey Riggs is up and warming up in the pen for Hayes, but back to the mound for inning number 5 is Anthony Kopecky. And he's first pitch home from Kavanaugh to Kavanaugh. Starts above the letters and drops to the knees. 0-1 counts. Kavanaugh on the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Got to third base in the first inning and then was thrown out on a fielder's choice. The 0-1 is inside. He brings his hands in and fouls it to the Larks dugout. 2 quick strikes here. Larks got 2 runs back in the last inning off of a couple of hits and a hit by pitch. And then the inning was ended when Leo Jiminian was tagged out at home. Kavanaugh was at the plate. And so we'll lead off this inning. 0-2, he reaches for it and grounds it back to Kopecky. Kopecky waits on it, throws to first, and gets Kavanaugh out in time. 2 straight groundouts to the pitcher will be the results of the previous 2 full statistical at-bats. Brings us to Cortland Lawson, the 3-hole. He is 1 for 2 on the day with a single to run scored. He also lined out to Escar Sega in the 3rd inning and one that was well hit, but it was just a nice play from the shortstop. Grant Schmidt on deck with Sam Corral in the hole for Hayes. 1 away, base is empty in the bottom of the 5th. Grounded hard down the third base line. It goes over the bag. Daniel gets to it in left field, and it's a well-hit double for Cortland Lawson, his 2nd hit of the day. And he's in scoring position. Tying run comes to the on-deck circle. Go-ahead run is in the hole for Hayes as Schmidt comes to the deck, or to the plate. He's 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and a run driven in. For Cortland Lawson, that is his 2nd double this season. He has 2 triples and 4 home runs and 9 singles. Has an on-base percentage above 600, which is just ridiculous, man. One 1-0 here to Schmidt, the Fort Hays State Tiger. It's delivery outside. It's off the glove of Richardson. He scrambles to it and gets it before Lawson can advance. Going to lefty up at the pen and moving for OKC. Larks will take on OKC tomorrow. First pitch at 7 p.m. from Larks Park on Larks Network. You can catch it right back here on the YouTube channel. 2-0 home. Schmidt waits on it and sends it back. 2-1. Corral on deck. Grant Long in the hole. It's game 25 of Hayes' season. They're 20-4 overall on an 8-game winning streak. And first place in their 2nd year in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. They're the defending champions, looking to win their 2nd straight. The 2-1 is going to be swung on and missed. 2-2. About an hour and a half into this game in the bottom of the 5th. Again, big gap in right center field. Bocock likes playing on the third base side of center field. A pretty big gap. And Schmidt will foul this one back and will stay count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schmidt been an excellent hitter for the Larks this season. Leads the team in home runs with 6, tied with Tyler Palmer. Also has 7 doubles, making up his 29 hits with 15 singles. Batting .337 as the Larks cleanup hitter today. This year at Fort Hays, he had an on-base percentage above 400, and he slugged .676, scoring 37 and driving in 29. Also had 11 long balls for the Tigers, who also play at Larks Park. Who's familiar with the park and has a payoff pitch coming on his way here from Kopecky. Kopecky, the 6'1" guy, goes home and sends it inside. It's a 6-pitch walk for Grant Schmidt. A great at-bat. He picks up his 2nd walk of the day, and that is the 3rd walk of the day allowed for Kopecky. There's 2 on with 1 out. Brings Sam Kroll to the dish. He is 0 for 2 with 2 fielder's choices on the day. Trying to get greedy, going to 2nd and the 3rd when he reached on the fielder's choice and was thrown out. tonight's designated hitter. He has 15 hits this season, batting .395. Has 19 runs driven in, and he scored 7 runs himself. Pop fly over to the right side and out of play. But runs scored for Brady Evans, Brock Loomis, and Sam Crown. A little misleading as they're catchers, and in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, you get courtesy runners as the catcher, so you can go suit up. So they don't get a whole lot of chances to score runs. 7 of Crowell's runs scored, 4 of his 7 runs scored are when he brought home himself on home runs. He's third on the team in home runs with Cortland Lawson. Each guy sits at 4. He has a combined 36 home runs. And we'll go 0-1. Kopecky steps off the mound, looks Lawson back to second, looks at Schmidt, who's at first, and will throw his second pitch here to Sam Crowell, the UTA Maverick. This one will catch inside, and Crowell down the count 0-2 again. Not 0-2 again, but he has 2 strikes on him again. He's had a good 2-strike approach today, putting 2 balls in play with 2 strikes on him. See what he can do here. Looks like Riggs is done warming up in the pen. We'll see if they want to bring him in for the 6th. Probably won't see a ton of arms go a long time on the mound in this 2-game series, as the Larks will play 4 games over the course of 3 days against the Roughnecks after having Sunday off.
Tonight's 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the first base
And Crowell will be down on strikes. So now through 4 2/3, Kopecky has struck out 3. 2 in the past 2 innings. He looks home and will deliver to Grant Long, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sacrifice fly. Larks have 7 hits off of Kopecky. They've scored 4 runs, all of them earned. Kopecky's given up a trio of walks and has a trio of strikeouts. One 1-0 here to Grant Long, the first baseman from USF. 1-0, fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Grant Long been the captain at USF for a while. He's a 6'4" redshirt junior, has 1 year of eligibility left. The Arizona native throws right-handed but hits left-handed. It's one of a few guys on the Larks roster that do that, along with Zach Henry and Cord Jackson and Wyatt Divis. He has a 2-0 count, pops this one up over the grandstand. Larks saw him back in 2019 when he played for the Valley City Mundaubers, a team that was in the KCLB and the Larks' lone year in the league. Led the team in games played, average, on-base percentage, hits, runs, total bases, walks, and RBIs. Asked Frank Leal if he could join the Larks for the KCLB tournament, and then played for the Larks in the tournament, played in all 4 games, batted a .455, scored 6 runs, and scored 2. Started every game for the Sioux Falls Cougars the past 3 years, 19, 20, and 21, and is a 2-time captain. Coming out of high school, is a 2-time Division I All-Conference honorable mention, and a 2017 senior to watch from the Arizona Diamond Report. So there's your report on Grant Long, and his 3-1 counts. Will miss. Second walk of the inning for Anthony Kopecky, and he loads the bases with 2 away, and we'll have a mound visit before Tyler Palmer can get a chance to hit. Lawson to third, Schmidt to second, Long to first here in the bottom of the 5th.
What we do here is go back.
Bases jacked. Long at first, Schmidt at second, Lawson at third. For Tyler Palmer, it's a quick mound visit between Kopecky and his coach. And the first pitch he throws to Tyler Palmer, who leads the team in home runs with Grant Schmidt, who's at second base. And will miss outside 1-0. Big RBI opportunity for Tyler Palmer. He's 0-for-1 on the day. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning and scored the Larks' 3rd run of the game. This season, he's batting .371, slugging .943. Swings and misses at this one, and it gets behind Richardson. Lawson scores, and every other runner advances. Lung to second, Schmidt to third, and Lawson will score his 2nd run of the day. It's a 5-7 ball game. For Corton, that is run score number 16 this season, in just his 12th game. Palmer has 16 RBIs, 6 home runs, a couple of doubles, and 5 singles on the season. Big RBI opportunity. This delivery will get away from Richardson again, and breaking home from third is Grant Schmitz, and things are starting to fall apart for Oklahoma City. That's Schmidt's first run of the day. He also has an RBI, and it's a 1-run ball game. And anything into the outfield could have scored Schmidt from second, but now all Tyler has to do is record a hit, and he'll bring home Lung inside the game. Lung walked on the last AB, and he's at third base. For Grant Lung, that was his 12th walk this season. Ground ball to third base will be picked up by Henderson. The throw is not going to be in time at first, and Tyler Palmer picks up RBI number 17. Grant Lung scores his 19th run this season after Schmidt scores his 22nd, and Hayes has a tie ball game. Big at bats. When you send one to the high corner, you got to sprint down the line, and that's exactly what Tyler Palmer did. And he used that speed after not being 100% running for a while. Uses the speed to get aboard and picks up his first of the day and brings home Grant Lung. Grant now has an RBI and a run scored. Palmer's at first with 2 outs. He goes to second and will steal the base. The throw is not in time. It's Cam Pearson at the plate with 2 away. 0-1 counts. And Kopecky pretty aware of Tyler Palmer now. Well, looking back to the bag. First stolen base on the day for the Larks after OKC has 5. Tyler Palmer, one of the 3 fastest guys on the roster. Henry and Jiminy and the other 2. Would love to see a race between those 3. Tyler Palmer just stole his 11th bag this season on his 13th attempt. He is now tied for a 3rd on the team with Jiminy for stolen bases. Two balls and a strike now to Cam Pearson. Played for the Larks last year, fell in love with the town, decided to come back and decide to commit to Fort Hays, and is going to stay in Hays, Kansas. Tyler gets his lead at second, representing the go-ahead run. And we get time. And the 2 umpires are going to talk. Home plate umpire tonight, Josh Brugard, Jeff Keith on the bases. Not 100% sure what this is about. Could have been about Cam Pearson's check swing. We'll figure it out here. The count stands at 2-1 with 2 outs and a runner at second. Hayes has walked 2 times this inning. They've gotten 2 hits. And the head coach for OKC wants an explanation. Pearson on the day, he's 1 for 2. He scored a run. 6, 7, 8 hitters have all scored for the Larks. And 6 different guys have scored. Zach Henry scored 1. So has Schmidt, Lung, Palmer, and Pearson. And Cortland Lawson has picked up 2. So Josh Brungard gives his explanation. And we will have a 2-1 count to Pearson. Becky will go back on the rubber. looks home, and his 2-1 delivery is bound to be on his way from the stretch. Tyler Palmer, small lead at second. Clapping behind him is Escar Sega, trying to get in his head. This one will catch the inside part of the plate on a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cam. Cam getting a second consecutive start at second base. He's batting 8th in the order tonight. And Kopecky will step off the mound and send Tyler Palmer back to second. Anything into the outfield could score Tyler Palmer. 2-2. Line drive into center. Cam flips the bat. Palmer rounds third, heads home. The throw from Bocock will be cut off at second base. And the Larks have scored their now 4th run of the inning. And they take an 8-7 lead on the 2-out RBI single from Cam. His first RBI of the day. Tyler Palmer scores his 2nd run of the day. And Hayes takes the lead. And we're going to get a pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-7 now here in Hayes, Kansas for Cam Pearson. That is his 21st RBI of the season. That is just behind Grant Schmitz for the team lead. And for Tyler Palmer, that is run score number 18. And even though he's only played in 13 games, that is tied for 4th on the team. So we'll take a quick break. Or excuse me, tied for 6th on the team, actually. Things have changed. Stats are not updated, but a couple guys have scored today. So we'll let you know who the new pitcher is after the break here on Larks Network. Two-way runner at first. New pitcher in the game is Holden Kuntz out of Southwestern Christian. First batter he'll face is Brady Evans, who's a home run and a triple shy of the cycle, 2 for 2 on the day. Doubling in the second, singling in the fourth. He's picked up 2 RBIs. Both were back in the 4th inning. That made it a 7-4 ball game, and Hayes has scored 4 in this inning and have scored 6 unanswered. They have a 1-run lead, and Evans has an 0-2 count. Holden Kuntz out of Oklahoma played at Pioneer High School before heading to Southwestern Christian in an NAIA school. Third pitch from Kuntz outside and high, 1-2. Played for the Pioneer Mustangs for his club homes, a 6'3 southpaw. And gets a foul ball out of Evans. Evans will stay alive. Just graduated high school in the class of 2021. He'll take his talents to Bethany, Oklahoma. One of 15 guys to sign with Southwestern Christian College in this class. This one above the head of Evans, and it'll miss his 5'8 frame. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the righty from Wright City, Oklahoma. His family came up from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma to watch him play today. Count is even Kuntz will pump fake at Cam Pearson, and they will get him for a balk. It was an interesting pickoff move. I thought balk in my head, but wasn't sure. And Josh Brungard said it is, and he sends Cam Pearson to second. Larks have been on the benefiting side of most of the balks this season, have just a few on the mound. 2-2 delivery at the feed of Evans with some heat on the fastball, but the control not there. It's a full count for Brady Evans and the Hayes Larks. Raced in the past 2 years at Murray State College in Oklahoma, and that's taking his talents to Hayes for the summer. Pearson loves to dance on the base paths and try and get in the pitcher's head. Kuntz looks at him for a while, and before he can deliver his payoff pitch, Brady Evans wants time. We'll get a payoff pitch under the lights here in Hayes, Kansas. 2-away runner at second in an 8-7 ball game. Evans grounds this one to left field side, and Cam Pearson's going to be held up at third as Daniel got to it quick. And crowd's excited. They thought they saw an RBI and got quiet as Frank Leo made the wise decision to hold Pearson at third. And that is the Larks' third straight single, fourth straight base runner, and that is the sixth base runner of the inning. And Jiminian will run for Evans for the third time today. And we'll go to the top of the order, the ninth hitter of the inning, Zach Henry. Runners on the corners, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Henry on the day, 1 for 3. Evans now sits at 3 for 3 with a couple singles and a double. Also has driven in 2 runs. First delivered to Henry outside, 1-0. Henry, in his last at-bat in the 4th inning, grounded out to Kopecky, pumped up to Bocock in the 2nd, and then singled back in the 1st inning and scored the Larks' first run of the day. Foul ball, make it a 1-1 count. Jiminian at first, Pearson at third. No double play possible with 2 outs, so no need to risk sending Jiminian, but he does have speed, so he could steal. He has a decent-sized lead at first base with the left-hander on him, and they will check over at first. Pearson breaks home from third and is in safely, and Richardson applied the tag, was upset with the call, and turned his back to the field, and in the meantime, Jiminian goes to second base, and heads-up play from Pearson, and Jiminian puts a runner at second, and the Larks take a 9-7 lead. Pearson scores his second run of the day. He's one of 3 Larks with 2 runs scored, and Hayes has now scored 5 this inning. Just like Oklahoma in the first 2 innings, they score 2 in the first, 5 in the second. Hayes scores 2 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth, and they have a 2-run lead. For Cam Pearson, that is his 23rd run scored this season, 3rd on the team behind Divis and Jackson. 2-1 delivery to Zach Henry is going to be fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to tonight's center fielder out of Texas. Full count here to Zach. Get a payoff pitch, Jiminian at second. And the payoff pitch, Henry lunges at and sends it foul. Jiminian, the center fielder from France, had the day off from batting, but Marks are using his legs on the base paths. Had a hamstring injury earlier in the season, and is about close as you can be to 100% back, but not quite there yet. Payoff pitch will be outside, no throw to third from Richardson, and Larks will have runners on the corners again, and they've batted around. Henry picks up his second time going to the base today, and that is the 3rd walk of the inning. Jiminian at third, Henry at first. And this will be the 10th hitter of the inning. It'll be Matt Kavanaugh. He grounded out to Kopecky to start this inning, and since then, Larks have only had one out, and they put a ton of guys aboard. So put Jiminy at third, Henry at first for Zach Henry. That is walk number 13 this season, and that is tied for fourth on the team with Crowell and Brown. 0-1 count here to the Cowboy. 2 away, 0-1. Kavanaugh grounded out in this inning, struck out in the second, and walked in the first. So 0 for 2, looking for his first hit and continue his 6-game hitting streak. Henry takes off the throw home on the pitch, gets off Richardson's glove, and that's going to be one of the many wild pitches / pass balls in this inning. And Hayes will score their 6th run. It's Jiminian scoring for the first time today, and all but 2 Larks have scored now. Henry goes to third on the play, and Hayes continuing their great 5th inning. It's a 10-7 ball game here in Hayes, Kansas. 1-1 count now to Matt Caff. For Leo Jiminian, that is his 20th run scored this season. 1-1, popped over to the right side. Poston Kuntz moved towards it. Kuntz is the one who makes the play, throws the ball back to the mound, and the Larks will take a 3-run lead to the 6th inning after a 6-run rally. First pitch from Munch here in the 6th inning is right to Grant Schmidt, running in from right field, and it's a quick 1 out. Munch has now gotten 5 straight outs. And actually 6 straight when you count the caught stealing in the 4th inning. And a 1-2-3-5 on a couple pop-ups and a ground out. This delivery home will miss low, 1-0 to Braden Escarcega, who's 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch, a double, a flyout, 2 runs scored, 2 runs driven in. After that flyout, Braden Bocock is now 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a flyout, and a walk. 1 ball in, 1 strike here to the shortstop at the top of the order. Braden Escarcega, undecided on his college commitment, has a 1-1 count here with 1 away in the top of the 6th. It's the first time that OKC will bat with a deficit. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him now. Saw Trey Riggs warming up. He stopped warming up, and now he's back up and getting loose again, ready for the Larks 1-0. Line drive to the backstop will stay 1-2. Should the Larks hold on, it would be Trevor Munch's first win of the season. And they'll look to do it. Have 3 innings and 2 outs to go. Under the lights here in Hayes, Kansas, the 1-2 from Munch gets a swing and a miss, and that's his 3rd strikeout of the game. And on the season for Trevor, strikeout number 17. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th inning. And as Barrett Daniel coming to the plate. Seven straight outs without allowing a hit. Fastball high and outside, 1-0 to Daniel. Daniel 1 for 3 on the day. He started his day with a strikeout against Jackson Blue. Singled against Jackson Blue in the 2nd after the 1st. And then his first at-bat and only at-bat previous to this one against Trevor Munch, he popped up to Grant Long for out number 1 of the 4th inning. Outside off speed, catches the high corner, 0-1, or 1-0 becomes 1-1. 2 away. Do it for the Larks in the bottom half of this inning will be 3, 4, and 5. Lawson, Schmidt, and Crow. The 1-1 delivery from Munch, the Lawrence, Kansas native. Miss outside, 2-1. Munch, 6'4", junior, has 1 year of eligibility left. Last pitch for the Wichita State Shockers. The 2-1 swung on and missed, 2-2. He's undecided on his college. Larks had a few of those guys to start the summer, and some other guys have found their home. Some other guys still looking, and we'll see what Munch wants to do, and I'm sure we'll find the home right for him. And whatever college it is, he's got a great arm, and they'll be glad to have him. 2-2 home. Nice pitch, just above the letters, though. 3-2, full counts. Munch today allowed just 1 hit in his 3 2/3 innings. 1 walk, and he's left 1 guy on base. He's been great on the mound in his 8th appearance this season. His 7th straight in relief. Payoff pitch on his way from Munch. Fastball popped up and out of play. We'll get a 7th pitch in this AB.
Still giving away dollar bills when you bring the foul balls back to the Larks nest, courtesy of the Hayes Police Department.
Munch has just allowed 13 hits this season and has allowed just 6 walks. Payoff pitch number 2 coming your way. 6'4" southpaw looks home. Evans gives him the sign. Munch goes home. Fastball will miss outside, and that's Munch's 2nd walk today. His 1st since the 4th inning with 1 away. 2 away, runner at first to Parker Henderson, the 3rd baseman, batting 3rd in the order. Henderson out of Southwestern Christian. One of 3 guys on the roster from that school. Henderson 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, a run scored, a run driven in, and a ground out. 0-1. Munch 3 2/3 on 51 pitches, has thrown strikes on almost 70% of his pitches. 1 out or 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Ground ball over the left field side. Kavanaugh reaches forward and falls, but he can't make a play on it. It's the 2nd single that Munch is allowed today. And just like in the 4th inning when he allowed a walk and a single, does the same here in the 6th, but got out of that jam in the 4th and had a 1-2-3 5th. And Keith Harper will come out of the dugout with 2 on and 2 out. And we'll take a pause on Larks Network. Quickest mound visit of the season. And we'll go to cleanup hitter Trevor Kinsey. He is 2 for 2 with a couple singles and a sacrifice fly. Has also driven in 1 run. He'll dig into the right-hander's batter's box versus the southpaw Munch. Munch leans in, nods at Evans, and will deliver his first pitch. Defense straight up for Hayes. This delivery will catch the inside low corner. No balls and a strike here to Kinsey, the DH, out of South Nazarene University. Oh, 1 with 2 away and 2 on is home. It's a fastball outside, 1 ball and a strike. First, fans, be sure to subscribe while you're watching the stream. Hit that notification bell. You get notified each time we go live all season long for the Larks games. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us out a ton, so sure to hit that subscribe button. 1-1 counts to Kinsey. Munch goes home, gets a swing and a miss on a nice heater, blew it past him, and he has a 1-2 count. On deck is Jasper if Oklahoma City needs him. One still coming in from the left field corner here in Hays, Kansas, sitting at 9:12 p.m. in Ellis County. The 1-2 for Munch comes home. It's a fastball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 of the inning. And number 4 on the day for Munch. He leaves 2 on and sends the Larks to the bottom half of the 6th, up by 3. Bottom of the 6th, Cortland Lawson will lead it off. He doubled back in the 5th inning. The last inning and scored his 2nd run. He's 2 for 3 on the day with a single and a line out as well. It's still Kuntz on the mound. He came in the 5th inning, replaced Kopecky after Kopecky went 4 2/3 and threw 92 pitches, allowed 9 hits and 9 earned runs. Walked 4, struck out 3. Kuntz threw 1 out, allowed 1 hit, a run scored on him, but it was unearned. And he also walked 1 batter. Kavanaugh was out number 1 and 3 of that 5th inning and led it off and ended it, so it takes us to Lawson here. Line drive into left field. Daniel came in when he should have went back and has to leap for it at the last second to record out number 1. So that takes us to Grant Schmidt. He's come to the plate 3 times and been the board every time off a couple walks and a single. He scored 1 run. That was in the last inning, and he drove in a run. That was in the 1st inning. Schmidt, the right fielder, he's a Nebraska native. And his first pitch from the Oklahoma native is the curveball that hangs way in the air slowly, 1-0. Second delivery, line on a frozen rope to left field. It drops in front of Daniel. Larks sending him to left field here in this inning. Daniel a little bit shaken up on the throw back end. It's a single with 1 out for Grant Schmidt. Takes us to Sam Crowell. Crowell 0 for 3 on the day. He's the only Lark to not get aboard in this ball game. The DH from UTA this year for the Mavericks. Sam played in 4 games, had 4 hits and 6 walks. Drove in 3 runs and scored 1. 1-0 to the DH. Had 24 at-bats and stole 1 base. This one is going to be a called strike, 1-1. Goes to the tall southpaw versus the right-handed power-hitting DH. Long on deck with Palmer in the hole. This one will be called strike 2. And every at-bat, Sam Crowell has had 2 strikes on him today. 6'1" freshman from Heath, Texas will look to get aboard here. Sam, a great guy. He's a great asset for the Larks. Not only on the field, but he's a great guy to have on your team and have your back as a teammate. Goes strikeout on 4 pitches here. It's his second strikeout of the day, and it's Kuhn's first strikeout on the mound, and there's 2 away.
Today's 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the first baseman, Grant Long.
Takes us to the beverage batter, Grant Long. He's yet to get the Larks fans half-price beverages tonight with a sacrifice fly, a strikeout, and a walk. Drove in a run on the sacrifice fly, and then he scored a run after his walk in the 5th. 2 away, runner at first, and Grant Schmidt, who's been aboard 4 times today off of a pair of singles and a pair of walks. 1-0 to Long. Kuntz has faced 7 batters and only started off 2 with a first pitch strike. Lung loses his bat. It goes to the right side of the field and off the netting protection. Had some Larks fans scared here. There was a lot of gas as there was kids on that side, but the netting keeps him safe, and Lung will get his bat and get back into the left-hander's batter's box with a 1-1 count. First baseman looking to get aboard for the second time today. Delivery high and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Kuntz has now thrown 27 pitches, 15 of those strikes, giving up a pair of hits and a walk, and he struck out 1. Grant takes a hard swing at his 4th delivery, misses. It's a 2-2 count. Gebicki started this game with 4 2/3. Kuntz has thrown the last 1. For the Larks, Jackson Blue started out through 2 innings, and then Munch has thrown the last 4. 2-2 delivery. Lung just lunges for this one to keep it alive, and we will stay at 2-2 and get a 6th pitch. Larks have worked the pitch counts all day. They've seen a total of 123 pitches through 5 2/3. And Lung will be strikeout victim number 2 of Kuntz, who gives a stare to the Larks dugout and heads back to his, down by 3. And he gives a wave to the Larks. And Frank Leal will talk to Josh Brungart. Larks don't want any of that, as they will go to the 7th inning, up 10-7. Trevor Munch's 8th outing of the season on the mound will come to a close after 4 innings. Replacing him on the rubber is Trey Riggs, the Hayes, Kansas native. His 7th game, all but 1 in relief. First pitch he throws home to the leadoff hitter, Jay Jasper, sent to left field over a leaping Kavanaugh. And it's a base hit here to start the 7th inning from Jasper, the second baseman from Mid-America University.
The right fielder, number 17, Braden Prather.
Hayes does have a righty warming up in the pen. Prather 1 for 3 on the day with 2 flyouts to Schmidt and a single. Singles back in the 2nd inning off of Jackson Blue. This will be the 3rd pitcher he sees in 4 at-bats. Riggs goes home, high and outside on the fastball, 1-0. Riggs has thrown 7 innings this year. He's given up 20 hits, 16 earned runs, 12 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Has an ERA in the double digits and a whip of 4.571. A little shaky numbers to start the season, but he's got a ton of great stuff on the mound and was one of the stars of that Hayes High class that had him and Palmer Hutchison in it. Hutchison had the day off, and he's been working with Keith Harper for now 6 years, 4 in high school and 2 in collegiately. Harper, a great pitching coach, surely knows how to get Trey Riggs out of this little bit of a struggle he's had to start 2021. Spent the past 2 years at Dodge City Community College at DC3, made 13 appearances this year, and had 1 start in 2020 at Dodge City for the Conquistadors, made 2 appearances and threw 2 innings. The 1-0 home check swing from Prather, barely pulled his hands. Maybe like 10% of a swing, but it's a 1-1 count as Riggs got the off-speed in the zone. Last year for the Hayes Larks, Riggs made 9 appearances, went 1-1 with 13 punch-outs and 5 walks. Off-speed outside, Evans blocks it into 2-1 counts. Riggs has thrown 7 innings, has 2 losses on the season, 1 against the Sox, 1 against Junction. His last outing was against the Cannons on the 6th, the game that the Larks won. He threw 2/3 of an inning, and the Larks won that game in extras in 10 innings, 15-11. 2-1 home, runner stays at first. Ground ball up the middle. It's to Pearson for 1. And Pearson to Kavanaugh for 1. To Long for 2. 4-6-3 double played for outs number 1 and 2 of the 7th inning. Couldn't have responded better after a leadoff single if you're Trey Riggs. And there's now 2 away and the bases are empty.
First baseman, number 4, Cameron Poston.
Takes us to Cameron Poston. Poston 1 for 3 on the day, singled back in the 2nd, scored a run in part of that 5-run inning for OKC against Jackson Blue. Since then, they've had 8 runs score on them unanswered. And the Larks have a 10-7 lead here in the top of the 7th. The Generals down to their final 7 outs. 10-7, and Riggs goes home, fastball off the plate, 1-0. Poston, the first baseman from Central Baptist College. Riggs in high school under Frank Leo and Keith Harper went 6-2 in his senior year on the mound, had an ERA of 1.71. Was a Sportsman, Kansas honorable mention All-State, and in 2019 was a 5A first-team All-State by the same company. Got Conference Player of the Year in 2019 and was a conference first-team selection 2 times. 2-0 count, 2-away, bases cleared. Fastball will catch the low outside corner. Great location for the 6-foot freshman. Riggs wastes no time getting set. Sways back and forth. Gets set. And will go from the windup here. 2-1 home. Same spot. Same pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Poston doesn't agree with the call, but he will have to protect with 2 strikes on him. Do it for the Larks after the 7th inning stretch. Will be the bottom of the order. Palmer, Pearson, and Evans. This one will miss just outside on the off speed, and it's a full count. Munch looks home. Evans gives him the signs. Riggs gives him a nod, goes home. Off speed, will miss the low inside corner as it started on the high outside corner. And the runner will be going to first. Second base runner of the inning. We'll see how Riggs responds against Dalton Richardson. Richardson 0 for 2 in the day with a ground out too much, a ground out too long, and a walk and a run scored. So we're going to do pitch hitter, actually, Logan Bolin. So it's a day for Dalton Richardson behind the plate. Bolin out of Bacone College. Sporting the number 2 jersey. See what he does in his first at bat. It's righty versus righty. Runner at first. Tying run on deck. Go ahead run in the hole for the Oklahoma City Generals. It's delivery home. Fastball just inside 1-0. Riggs last year for the Larks pitched 12 innings over his 9 appearances. All his appearances were in relief for the Larks last year. He's picked up 1 start this season against the Cannons in a game that the Larks won in extra innings. Larks have won both their games against the Cannons in extra innings this year. That was the one at home when he got the start, went 1 inning, 1 earned run, punched out 2 guys. And the Larks won that game in the bottom of the 9th. Actually, that game was not in extra innings, but it was in the bottom of the 9th on a walk-off from Grant Schmitz. It's a home run to left field that he cranked, and it got the Larks the win. And the Larks had a day off after that to celebrate it. 2-0 with 2 outs. Misses inside 3 straight balls. And this at bat after walking Poston. It's a 3-0 count, and I imagine that Bolin will be taken all the way. Riggs looks into his dugout, steps off the rubber as Bolin gets time. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Larks. They've been aboard a combined 7 times in 9 plate appearances. 3-0 and taken all the way here. It's a 3-1 count. Hitters count for the catcher. Riggs sets up, goes from the stretch. Pitch number 5, cranked into left center field. Palmer and Henry move towards it. It's going to drop by the 349 sign. Henry loses it. It rolls to the wall off the warning track. It's going to be an RBI 2-out double. And the 10th hit of the game for Oklahoma City. They're down by 2. Take away the double play, and this is a drastically different inning. Shows how important that one was from Trey Ricks. It's the first run for Oklahoma since the 2nd inning. It's Bolin's first RBI on the day, and it has a clutch pinch hit. Jasper goes from first to home and scores his first run of the day. 7 of the starting 9 for Oklahoma City have scored. It's a 2-run ball game, tying run to the plate. Fastball over the outside part of the plate. 0-1 counts. This is Riggs' 7th appearance, like I mentioned, and his 6th in non-league games. He's only thrown 1 league game. It was against the Colorado Sox. Pop fly over the left side, and it's going to get Cortland Lawson under it. He records out number 3, and the Larks will take a 2-run lead to the 7th inning stretch on Larks Network. Coons back to the mound for Oklahoma City in the bottom of the 7th inning. Leading off for Hayes is Tyler Palmer, the left fielder. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a hit by pitch, a single, a fly out. He's drove in a run and he scored a couple himself. 1-0 is the count here in the latter half of the 7th inning. Pitch number 2 will catch the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and a strike. On deck is Cam Pearson with Brady Evans in the hole. The 1-1 delivery to Palmer outside, 2-1 on an off speed. Nobody up and moving in either pen here in the 7th inning. Kuntz wants a new sign from his new catcher, Bolin, who pinch hit in the top of this inning, doubled home a run, and made it a 2-run ball game. So we'll replace Richardson behind the dish, and Palmer wants time playing a little mind games here. To the Palmer, Nebraska Cornhusker having a great season with the Larks on a hot streak after having an injury. And as this one dropped in the zone, takes it and will have a better approach, now knowing a little bit more about Kuntz's delivery in a 2-2 count. Tyler Palmer redshirted this year for Nebraska. He's a Columbus, Nebraska native, and this one will miss high. He's a full count. In Columbus, set a school record with 38 stolen bases in his career, batted at .360 and had an on-base percentage of .460. Had 74 hits. It was an underclassman All-American in 18 and 19. Also set the season-high record for stolen bases with 15. He's given the perfect game ranking of the 2nd overall outfielder in Nebraska and a perfect game grade of 9. Get a payoff pitch home. It's on its way, and it's swing and a miss from Tyler Palmer. Second time he'll be out today. Bottom 3 in the order combined have been aboard now combined 7 of 10 times. 70% success rate, always great numbers for the Larks bats. 3 straight strikeouts for Kuntz on the mound. It takes us to Cam Pearson. Pearson started his day with a flyout to Bocock in the 2nd, and since then has a pair of hits. Sends this one to deep left field and loses the bats. Bocock and Daniel look up at it. It's going to drop off the wall, and Pearson rounds first, has the 2nd, sprinting 3rd, and he has a 1-out triple, was just a couple feet shy of a home run. And after Kuntz talks some smack to him, the Larks have some words after that one was cranked past the 349 sign and off the wall. just a couple more feet, and that would have been a home run for Pearson. He led the team in total bases last season, and as his third hit today, he's at third with one away as we go to Brady Evans. That's Pearson's second triple this season, and his ninth extra base hit. Almost was home run number 2. Evans to the dish. He is 3 for 3 with a couple singles and a double. Has driven in 2 runs and scored 1 himself. Has an 0-1 count here after this one drops into the zone. Hayes has now 12 hits, 10 runs. OKC has 10 hits, 8 runs in a game that's way closer than it should be. Take away those first 2 innings when the Larks pitching struggled, and it is a 10-1 ball game. But you can't erase it that easily. The Larks will have to deal with what they can, and it's a 1-1 count here to Evans. Evans at the bottom of the order. On deck, top of the order, Henry with Kavanaugh in the hole. 1-1 count with 1 away, 1 at third. This one above the letters, 2-1. Larks fans, be sure to subscribe while you're watching the stream. If you're signed in on YouTube, if you have a Google account, you can use that too. Just hit the subscribe button. It'll help us out a ton. Helps us reach a broader audience. We gained like 200 subscribers at a rapid rate, but we still got more to our goal of 1,000 to be able to stream from our sites. Evans sends this one off the glove of Kuntz. It goes to Escarcega, and he throws to first to Poston for out number 2.
The center fielder, Zach Henry.
So 1-6-3 ground out for Brady Evans, the first time he'll be retired today. Takes it to Zach Henry. He started the day for the Larks with a single at the top of the order, then went 0 for 2, and then walked. He scored 1 run. That was in the first inning. And the Larks, after scoring 8 unanswered, allowed 1 in the top of this inning, and they have a 2-run lead. 2 away, 0-1 count to Zach Henry, tonight's center fielder out of UTA. Kuntz looks home. Go from the stretch. Pearson moving around at third base. 0-1 outside, 1 ball and a strike. Henry has his count even. Henry scored an even 20 runs this season. He's driven in 11. Has 19 hits, 16 singles, and 3 doubles. This one at his eyes and inside. Close pitch, 2-1. Henry has an on-base percentage of .465. Larks have a team on-base percentage of .442 and a team OPS of .987. Great numbers offensively for Hayes. It's just the pitching that has caused the Larks to have some close calls. 2-1 outside, 3-1. Henry's been hit by 3 pitches this season. It's quite a few for guys who only played in 23 games. The 3-1 home up the middle, and he loses his bat and sends it down the right field line. It's the second time the Larks lose a bat down that side of the field, and they'll need to get some pine tar on the bat of Zach Henry. Poston goes and gets it for him, hands it to McGuire, and Max McGuire in his first year as a first base coach. Max McGuire in his first year as a first base coach will hand to Zach Henry in his first year of collegiate ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a full count. We'll get a payoff pitch here, a big one coming. Righty up and moving for Hayes. Keith Harper down and looking at him. Can't read the number from here. And with as dark as it is out here, I can't make out who it is. 3-2, payoff pitch sent to left field. A diving effort from Daniel. We'll record out number 3 on one that was robbed of Henry. And the Larks will take a 2-run lead to the 8th inning. Top of the 8th, Trey Riggs throws 1 inning in relief of Trevor Munch, who threw 4 innings of relief of Blue. And we'll go to Cade Brown in this one. Cade Brown, the dual threat, can pitch, can hit, and he has a 1-0 count against Braden Escarcega, the leadoff hitter in the 7th inning. The 8th inning, we're at the top of the order. Escarcega on the day, 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch, a double, a couple runs driven in, a couple runs scored. The 1-1 delivery from Brown blows a fastball by him, 1-2. Brown, a California native's redshirt sophomore at the University of Oklahoma, stands at 6'4", and has a 1-2 count here. Appearance number 10 on the mound for Cade, and he goes home. The 1-2 blows another fastball by Escarcega. Escarcega down on strikes for the second time today, his second straight strikeout. There's one away. For Cade, then his strikeout number 23 this season, and he's only walked just 2 guys. Remarkable numbers for him. Through 13 2/3, he struck out 22 guys and only walked 2. Just great numbers. Kind of him and Luke Terabik keeping the strikeouts high, keeping the walks low, and that's been great for the Larks this season. Brown, ERA of 2.70 and a whip of 1.23. 1.13. My apologies. He started 1 game this season. That was against Fort Collins on Saturday. Went 3 innings in his first start. He is 2-0 this season with wins against Junction and the Kansas Cannons. He's only given up 13 hits and has 4 earned runs. Has an 0-1 count here quick on Barrett Daniel. And his first appearance, he faced 5 batters against the Roughnecks on the Larks' second game of the season. In the game of the Larks threw a lot of pitchers of those 3 games, and he impressed all. Through 1 2/3, 5 batters faced, got them all down on strikes. Pop fly over the left field side, and Brown got this one off the inside of his bat, and Daniel down 1-2. Brown looking good here in appearance number 10 on the rubber. In his freshman year at San Diego, made 19 appearances on the mound, went 2-1, struck out 18, and had 3 starts. Only gave up 13 walks. In his last summer league, 2019, made 3 appearances for the Dansville Dans, struck out 1, and had a lot more hitting opportunities than he did pitching, kind of the opposite of his college days. In 2018 summer league, made 11 appearances for Victoria Arborcats, struck out 41 through 42 2/3. And he will strike out his second straight here. 2 up, 2 down, both on strikeouts. So we go to Parker Henderson.
The third baseman, number 6, Parker Henderson.
Henderson on the day, 1 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts. Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong guy. 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, a ground out, and a walk. He's driven in 1 run and scored 1. Strikeout number 24 this season for Cade Brown. Goes home on this delivery, misses the low outside corner, 1-0. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 8th, hopefully the last time they hit today. 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Kavanaugh, Lawson, and Schmidt. Brown probably the last guy we'll see throw today for Hayes. Becomes 1-1. Brown hits the zone here. Brown has a lot of heat on his pitches, so also has some good movements, and is showing why he was given a perfect game grade of 9.5, the highest the Larks have had this season. 1-1, 1-2. Well, it was a 2-time MOK tournament MVP, perfect game tournament MVP. And Upper Class All-American 2018, Top Prospect Team in 2017, and National Showcase selectee, all by perfect game. The 1-2 from Brown. He'll step off the rubber, so we'll get time from Henderson. Henderson, the third baseman from Southwestern Christian. Brown, the Sooner, 1 strike away from striking out the side. The 1-2 home, swing and a miss, and he gets 3 strikeouts, number 23, 24, and 25 on the season, and he sends us to the bottom half of the 8th. Hayes up 10-8. Bottom of the eighth we go. Diego Quintana to the mound out of Mid-America University. Leading off for Hayes is Matt Kavanaugh. Has gone 0 for 3 on the day. Was outs number 1 and 3 of the fifth. Walked back in the first inning. And every single Lark has been aboard today. I said earlier that Sam Crow had, and I don't know why I said that. He's been aboard 2 different times. First delivery here to Cav out of Quintana's hand. It misses. Back-to-back lefties for OKC on the mound. Kavanaugh to UTA. Looking to get aboard for the first time since the first. Quintana goes home. Heater gets past Kavanaugh, 1-1. Larks need some insurance runs here in the ninth if they want to sit comfortably into the 10th, but I think even if you have a 1-run lead, into the ninth, I think even if you have a 1-run lead with Cade Brown on the mound, you're pretty okay with the way things are. But never hurts to add on. The 1-1, Quintana gets it in the zone, called strike 2. On deck is Cortland Lawson with Grant Schmidt in the hole for the Hayes Larks. Defense straight up. Quintana will kick his front leg up and go home. Curveball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Munch in position to pick up win number 1 this season. Larks and Cade Brown will want to keep him there. Want to keep him in that position. Kopetsky started this game for the Sooner State League All-Stars, now known as Oklahoma City Generals. Went 4 2/3 innings in the start, gave up 9 earned runs. Kuntz came in relief through 2 1/3, had 0 earned runs, but a run scored on him, gave up 3 hits, and walked a guy, and Quintana comes in for the 8th. Hayes has seen 149 pitches in this game. Two-two delivery, curveball outside, 3-2. So a big payoff pitch on its way. It's game 1 of 2. Larks will be back against this team tomorrow at 7. Then have Sunday off, and then have 4 games over 3 days against the Colorado Rough Riders. Payoff pitch at the feet of Matt Cav, and he is aboard for the second time today on a second walk. And he will take first happily, as the Larks will bring Cortland Lawson to the dish. Cortland, a very dangerous bat, can always give you something coming to the plate. He's been aboard in every single game as a Lark. Been aboard 2 times today off of a single and a double, and he scored both times he's reached. That's Kavanaugh's 3rd walk this season, and the Larks looking for some insurance runs here in the 8th. Lawson singled in the first, lined out in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th, lined out in the 6th. Lined out in the 3rd was one that was a nicely hit ball, but it was a leaping grab from Escarcega that saved a hit. 0-1 count here. Schmidt on deck with Crow in the hole for the Hayes Larks. Lawson thinks about turning on this one. And base pass umpire Jeff Keith with a delayed no swing call. 1-1. Quintana looks home. will go from the stretch, lefty versus righty. And this one's grounded up the middle. A weird curve on it. Jasper tosses to Escarcega for one, and Escarcega will lose the ball on the transfer, but he will get Kavanaugh out. Cortland Lawson will reach on a fielder's choice.
The right fielder, Grant Schmidt.
Third fielder's choice the Larks have received today. The other two were off of from Sam Crow. Lawson now 2 for 5. Takes us to Grant Schmidt, who's 2 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 singles, a run scored and a run driven in. One away with Cortland Lawson at first. The check over at him will go to the wall. He goes from first. He rounds second and heads to third, and even with Poston blocking his way to push him away from him, he goes 180 feet and puts himself in scoring position. And the Larks' 11th run of the day is 90 feet away from scoring. Delivery off speed and outside to Schmidt. 1-0. Big off move. The second error of the game for OKC. Lawson at third. Schmidt at the dish. Schmidt been aboard all 4 plate appearances today. In today's ball game, he's picked up his 29th and 30th hits and his 8th and 9th walks this season. Schmidt is second on the team with 30 hits, behind only Wyatt Divis, who has 33. And Pearson also had 3 hits today. He came in this game with 27. He's tied with Schmidt for second. Jiminian in 4th place with 22 hits. 1 ball and a couple strikes here to Schmidt. Sacrifice fly could score. Lawson, fastball will miss outside. And it's a 2 ball and 2 strike count. Bowen, the catcher, replaced Richardson after pinch hitting him for him a couple of innings ago. Infield in. And the 2-2 delivery is sky to left field. And Daniel gets to it. Hustling, but it's going to be a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Grant Schmidt.
RBI for Grant Schmidt.
Our second sacrifice fly today. Both of them come from the Grants. One from Schmidt, one from Long. And Schmidt has his second RBI today. Cortland Lawson scores his 3rd run today, and the Larks are up by 3 with 2 away. For Grant Schmidt, that was RBI number 23 this season. He has the most on the team. And for Cortland Lawson, that was run score number 17 this season. Sam Crowell today, she has an 0-1 count. He's 0 for 4 today with a couple fielder's choice and a couple strikeouts. He cranks this one to left field. Forget about it. It's a solo home run for Sam Crowell. The Larks, who lead the Rocky Mountain Baseball League in home runs, pick up another one right here thanks to Crowell. And he scores himself for the 5th time this season. His 5th home run. Run scored number 8, RBI number 20. And the Larks have a 12-8 lead. And Sam Crowell just got ejected by Josh Brungart. There's warnings given to the teams, and that one evidently crossed the line, and the Larks will need a new DH should we go into the 9th inning. So a tough turn after the Larks had momentum. They still have momentum thanks to the Sam Crowell solo shot. Takes us to Grant Lung. Larks have seen a handful of ejections from both sides this season. This one the latest. Crowell now has 6 extra base hits this season. 5 of them are the long ball. He'll up his OPS and his slugging percentage, batting average, and OPP all in one swing. First delivery is inside, catches the blade on a nice slider against Grant Lung. So in league play, if you get ejected, you're suspended a game. But in non-league play, the rules are different. So we'll see what the situation stands at tomorrow. Larks have 3 catchers on the roster with Krell, Evans, and Loomis. So even if Sam can't play tomorrow, Larks should be all right. 1 ball and a strike here to Long. Fastball way outside, 2-1. Larks now have 37 home runs this season, and they've scored 12 runs today. 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the eighth, and they had a big 5th inning scoring 6 runs. Quintana misses the outside corner, and Bolin holds the ball for a while, waiting for the call. 3-1 hitters count. We see Cade Brown back for the 9th inning for the Larks on the mound. 3-1 outside, second walk of the inning for the Hayes Larks. They now put 4 guys aboard, and Grant Lung will head to first base. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. Runner at first, and Grant Lung, who just picked up another walk on his great season. It is the second time he's been aboard today. It's his 2nd walk. And on the season for Grant, that's walk number 13. He scored a run and driven in a run today. 4 through 9 in the order have each driven in at least 1 run, and 3 through 1 have all scored in the order. Kavanaugh, the only guy without a run scored or a run driven in. He's been in scoring position, almost scored in the first inning, but was the chosen out on the fielder's choice. One and 2 count here to Tyler Palmer. Tyler Palmer on the day, 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch, a single, 2 runs scored and a run driven in. Swings and misses, chases this one, tips in the glove of Bolin, and that will end the 8th inning. Larks get 2, and they will take a 4-run lead to the 9th.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands hands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Top of the ninth. Let's take a moment to check out this day in Larks history on the Larks Facebook. On July 16th, 2002, the Hayes Larks clinched their second straight Jayhawk League championship and second in program history with a 10-5 win over the Topeka Capitals at Larks Park. Paul Witt belted a 3-run homer and Lee Curtison inside the park homer with a runner aboard. Starter Tommy Hotovy improved to 5-0 with the victory. If you like that, check out the Larks on Facebook at the Hayes Larks. And this day in Larks history, courtesy of Randy Jordan. Tommy Hotovy, one of the few guys for the Larks, one of the handful of the guys representing the Larks currently in the MLB. He's the pitching coach for the Chicago Cubs after having a career playing. Him and Jay Stingler both coaching currently in the MLB. Larks had a couple guys drafted this week in Spencer Packard and Carlos Tavera, and a broken bat fly ball is going to drop in center field, and Kinsey has his third hit of the day, and after a 1-2-3-8 from Cade Brown when he struck out 3, he allows his first hit.
The second baseman, number 9, Jay Jasper.
So we had a new bat for Kinsey for tomorrow's game. Runner at first. Top of the ninth, nobody out. And coming to the plate now is Jay Jasper. Courtesy runner at first base. Can't tell a number from here. One and 0 was the count here to Jasper. He has a single and a walk on the day. Brown's fastball right at the knees. How are you going to hit that one? It's a 1-1 count. Jasper will step out of the batter's box. Righty on the mound, a guy who's hitting left-handed in the batter's box. With the runner at first, Grant Lung there to keep him honest. Brown ignores the runner, goes home, and the 1-1 delivery is going to be fouled off. One ball and 2 strikes here to Jasper, the second baseman out of Mid-America. 1-2, Brown. From the stretch, he struck out 3 today. That won't be 4, misses just outside on a fastball. He wanted that call, and so did the whole Larks team. After every pitch, Jasper's getting out of the box, trying to throw off Brown's timing. He'll dig back in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first, with the tying run in the hole. The 2-2 from Brown, swung on and missed. And I'm not sure if they'll give it a foul ball, and they will say it's a strikeout. Cade Brown's 4th strikeout of the day, number 26 of the season. But moving into scoring position is the courtesy runner who never got a read on. This will be Casey Vasquez coming in to pinch hits for Drayden Prather.
Number 13, Casey Vasquez.
Prather will finish his day 1 for 4. Vasquez out of Bacone College, one of the 5 guys on the roster from the school, and he has an 0-1 count, swinging and missing. All 4 outs Cade Brown has retired today have been on strikeouts through 1 1/3. Our scoreboard again, outs and troubles here on the stream. 2 quick strikes here from Brown. Brown has thrown 19 pitches now, 13 in the zone. The 0-2, fastball outside, misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Vasquez. Owner at second, and a 4-run ball game with Poston on deck. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Evans applies the tag. 5th strikeouts through 1 2/3 for Cade Brown. 1, 2, 3 strikeouts in the 8th. Struck out the side, no hits. That was a hit here in the 9th, but a struck out the past 2. And the Oklahoma City Generals are down to their final outs. Top of the 9th. Post into the box. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. He scored 1 run, fouls his first delivery off, sends it to Larks dugout. No balls and a strike. Two strikes left for Cade Brown. Struck out 26 this season. 27 after his 5th strikeout, and throws this one in the zone. 0-2. He's looking for their 9th straight win, looking to move on to 21-4 in the season. Larks were in the same league last year and went 22-10, including 2 losses and 2 wins at the NBC. So far, they're 20-4 this year. It was their first year in the league. They won the Rocky Mountain Baseball League title, winning 20 conference games. They've played in 12 so far this season. They're 10-2. This is a non-league game. The 1-2 delivery will miss inside, and it will hit the foot of Postons. And that'll send Riley DeMarco back to second. DeMarco listed as a southpaw pitcher out of Oklahoma City University. First batter that Cade Brown's hit this season. There's 2 on with 2 outs. Tying run on deck, go ahead in the hole. Brown looks at DeMarco, goes home. Outside part of the plate, call strike 1. Larks fans, be sure to subscribe while you're watching the stream. And hit the notification bell. You get notified for every game we go live for, especially tomorrow's game. First pitch is 7. Check swing, and he wins. No balls and 2 strikes. This is Bolin, the catcher, who pinch hits in the 7th and doubled home a run to make it a 8-10 ball game. And the Larks rallied back with 2 in the 8th and made it a 12-8 ball game. The 0-2 home, nice block from Evans, and he was going to tag him. Thought he might have caught the outside corner. It'll be outside and low, 1-2. Evans has been so great defensively today for the Larks. Has saved a lot of wild pitches today. Larks have benefited off of wild pitches and pass balls on their side of the offense today. The 1-2 from Brown with the crowd getting loud. This is outside. 2-2. Slow clap starts. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 on the top of the 9th. And a 4-run. In a 4-1 ball game, Brown goes home and will get Bolin to go down looking. Hits the gritty and gives the Larks their 21st victory of the season. Cade throws 2 innings, strikes out 6, and now has 28 strikeouts on the season. Getting his first win of the season tonight is Trevor Munch. Through 4 innings of relief for Jackson Blue. Blue started the game for the Larks. 2 innings, 7 runs. Munch, 4 great innings of relief, 2 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts, and gets his first win. Is 1-0 now in the season. Trey Riggs throws an inning after Munch, allows a couple hits and an earned run. And Brown comes in and throws the last 2 innings, strikes out all 6 outs, allows 1 hit, and hits 1 batter. Kopecky started the game for the Sooner State League All-Stars, and through 4 2/3 innings, allowed 9 earned runs. Kuntz followed him up with 2 in the third with no earned runs. Quintana came in for the 8th and threw 1 inning and had 2 earned runs. Larks win it 12-8 in this game. They're 21-4 in the season. They're on a 9-game winning streak, and they're still 10-2 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League non-league game tonight. They're sitting comfortably in first place, 3 games up. Every batter for the Larks either scored or drove in a run. We had RBIs from 6 different guys, runs scored from 8 different guys, and we had 3 runs scored from Lawson, 2 runs driven in from Schmidt, and 2 runs driven in from Evans to cap off the performances today. Larks have quite a few games coming up here at home. They'll be back tomorrow against Oklahoma City for Game 2. Game 2 of 2 against the Oklahoma City Generals. You can catch first pitch tomorrow at 7 p.m. right here on Larks Network. Then they will have Sunday off and have 4 games against the Roughnecks, one of them being a doubleheader. You can catch tomorrow's game at 7 p.m. Larks win this game 12-8 here in Hays, Kansas. This has been Carson Ackerman on the call. Thank you for tuning in to Larks Network. We'll see you tomorrow night, first pitch at 7 p.m.